Happy Tuesday, everyone, from Houston, Texas. Welcome to Stellar Parenting. I'm your host, Brandi. I'm an intuitive astrologer, and I also hold a Master of Science in Psychology with an emphasis in child and adolescent development. And I'm really passionate about combining the science with the mystical and teaching parents, teachers, and guardians how to combine and mix the magic of the stars with the art of consciously raising children. If you are interested in working with me, please visit my website at brandycon.com. So today we have an electrifying transit just went into effect yesterday on July 7th. And I'm super excited to give you a forecast on what you can expect based on your rising sign. But first, let's begin with the tragedy that many people are facing here in Texas. So on July 4th, very early in the morning, many people were still asleep. Heavy rainfall caused the Guadalupe River in central Texas to surge and shatter a century old record, claiming more than 100 lives, including nearly 30 children, and leaving many families missing and displaced. At Camp Mystic, which is a summer camp along the Guadalupe River, at least 27 campers and staff lost their lives when the cabins were overwhelmed by the floodwaters. Now, 10 young campers and one counselor are still missing. And this disaster is on track to be deadlier than Hurricane Harvey was back in 2017. Among the most heart-rending stories is that of two sisters, Blair and Brooke Harbor. They were ages 13 and 11, and they were from Dallas. But they were staying with their grandparents near Hunt, Texas, when they were tragically swept away. They were found 15 miles downstream, still holding hands and still clutching their rosaries, which is a testament to their faith and their love for each other. If you're wondering if there is an astrological connection to the flood, the answer is yes. My fellow astrologer, Pam Gregory, pointed out that Neptune went stationary direct on July 4th, right on the Aries point, which is a degree known for bringing events into public visibility. When outer planets go stationary retrograde, their themes become very strong, very amplified and emphasized. And Neptune is connected to water, oceans, floods, illusions, toxicity, the media, and collective grief. And in this case, the devastating floods reflect Neptune's symbolic energy being activated in a very real and painful way. So our hearts go out to the families in Kerrville, Texas, and the surrounding areas who have suffered unimaginable loss due to the recent flooding. We hold space for the children, for the parents, and for the loved ones who are grieving, those still searching, and those who've been displaced. May comfort, strength, and community surround you in the days ahead. Our hearts are with you. And now we will discuss the transit that just went into effect yesterday, which is Uranus moving into the sign of Gemini. So Uranus will be in Gemini from July 7th, 2025, all the way through November 7th of this year. And then at that point, Uranus will go back into Taurus. Then Uranus will return to Gemini on April 26th of 2026 and remain in that sign all the way through 2033. So this is a very significant transit. So Uranus is the planet of disruption innovation, and awakening. And when we're talking about Gemini, Gemini is the sign of communication, thought, learning, movement, and duality. And when these two energies combine, we experience revolutions in how we think, how we speak, how we learn and connect. And this is not subtle energy. It's not very subtle at all. Uranus is a planet known to bring sudden and unexpected change. And Gemini multiplies it through language, media, technology, education, and transportation. So we can expect over the next 7 years to see breakthroughs in artificial intelligence and digital communication, as well as education reform, unconventional learning models, transportation technology, and think about drones or flying cars or flying taxis or smart transit. Now, the historical context of Uranus in the sign of Gemini is quite interesting because the last time Uranus was in Gemini was 84 years ago. Okay. From 1941 to 1949. And that was a time period that was marked by World War II and the revolutionary use of new communications like radar, coded messaging, and propaganda. Also, during that time, we had the rise of mass media. So, television and radio became household staples. Also, during that time, we had the invention of computers, also, major geopolitical realignments, and aviation and transportation advances. And when we're talking about each of you on a personal level, the area of your chart where Uranus will be stationed will experience some significant change. So there will be change in particular in one area of your life. And you're going to get a preview of that change over the next 4 months until Uranus moves back into Taurus on November 7th. Based on your rising sign, I can give you some clues about what you may be facing. So if you know your rising sign, please listen to the forecast ahead. If you are an Aries rising, Uranus is moving into your third house of the mind, communication, siblings, and learning. So get ready for your entire way of thinking and expressing yourself to be turned upside down, but in the best way possible. You might be drawn to learn completely new things, okay? Develop your intuitive gifts or even write, speak, or teach in radically different ways. Now, sibling dynamics, if you've got siblings, the relationship dynamics could shift and change during that time. So please keep that in mind. Or there might be a surprising local move that you make. Now, most importantly, with you, your mindset is really being rewired. So expect flashes of insight and downloads that totally change how you see the world. For my Taurus rising people, this transit will land in your second house of money, self worth, and resources. Okay, so it's all about money for Taurus. You're being called to completely reimagine how you earn money, how you save, and what you value and how to value what you bring to the table. So, sudden financial opportunities or disruptions could push you to create more freedom and stability in really unconventional ways. You may feel called to release outdated attachments to material security. And by the end of this transit, your relationship with abundance and self worth will be radically different and more aligned with your truth. Gemini rising, okay, this is your party. This is a big one for you because Uranus is going to be in your first house of self. Okay, the first house is the house of who you are physically, your appearance, how you come across to other people. So you are the change with this transit. Your identity, appearance, confidence, and life direction are all up for a quantum leap. So expect to break free from anything that's been holding you back from being your authentic self. You may feel restless, you may feel rebellious, or suddenly uninterested in old labels or expectations. So, this is the time, Gemini, to embrace your inner genius and to try new things and let the real you take the lead. Cancer rising. This transit will activate your 12th house of the subconscious, dreams, and spiritual healing. It's time to liberate yourself from hidden fears, karmic baggage, and limiting spiritual patterns. Uranus here can bring unexpected awakenings through dreams, through your intuition, or even time spent alone. And Cancer rising people, I don't want you to underestimate. Oh, I don't want you to think that, oh, this is only going to be in the 12th house. I'm not going to see that much of a difference because for the last 7 years, I've had Uranus going through my 12th house. And during that time period, sudden, unexpected insights that come out of the blue, like lightning bolts, deep inner knowing. Also, my intuitive development really ramped up during that time. So you might experience the same thing. And don't be surprised if you're drawn to study mysticism, energy work, or to explore past lives. A powerful inner awakening is coming, and it will guide you toward deeper peace and purpose. Leo rising in the house. Where are you guys? Uranus will be entering your 11th house of friendships, communities, and future visions. So you may suddenly outgrow old circles. You might attract eccentric, progressive, and visionary people into your life. Technology or social platforms could play a role in helping you to build a bigger empire. So, this is your time to really align with your future self and to create a life that reflects your most inspired ideals. Collaborations, group efforts, and your relationship to the collective are all being revolutionized. Virgo rising. This will activate your 10th house of career, reputation, and life purpose. And you can experience sudden changes in your job, public role, or professional goals. You may feel a strong pull to break away from traditional paths and to pursue something more authentic, even if it's a little bit risky. Okay. This is your cosmic permission slip to innovate and redefine success on your own terms. By the time Uranus finishes transiting through Gemini, your life direction might look completely different, but in the best way possible. Libra rising. Uranus will be moving into your ninth house of travel, beliefs, publishing, and higher learning. And you're being called to challenge your belief systems and to expand your mind in unexpected ways. Sudden opportunities for travel, for study, or teaching could arise. You might shift spiritual or philosophical paths as you discover what it is that truly resonates with your soul. This is a powerful time to free yourself from dogma and to explore exactly what higher truth means for you. Scorpio rising. This transit will hit your eighth house of transformation, of intimacy, and shared resources. So, big energetic upgrades are coming around how you trust, how you merge, and how you let go. You may experience sudden financial changes related to investments, debts, inheritances, also loans, bank loans, mortgage loans, student loans. Deep emotional healing is possible as you confront fears around vulnerability and power. The more willing you are to surrender and evolve, the more empowered you will become. Sagittarius rising. Uranus will be entering your seventh house of relationships and partnerships. When we're talking about relationships, many times people think, oh, it's only a committed partner or a marriage partner. And that's not the case. Yes, marriage partners, yes, committed partners, but also your one to one relationships. So if you are someone who sees clients, client relationships also fall within the seventh house as well. If you are someone who has a business partner, business partnerships also fall into the seventh house as well. So I want you to get ready for major changes in how you connect and commit. New relationships may enter your life in shocking or unconventional ways. And old relationships may really need to evolve or change somewhat. And if they don't, we could see an ending come to those relationships. This is really a time to prioritize freedom, authenticity, and mental stimulation in your partnerships. Whether it's romance or business, you're learning to connect without compromising who you are. Capricorn rising. So, this transit is going to hit your sixth house of health, work, daily routine. Okay. So, your daily life is about to get a major shakeup, especially as far as how you manage your time, how you manage stress, and the structure that you have in your life. So it's possible that you could change jobs or something about your job title could change, something about your job responsibilities could change. You could adjust your health routine. Maybe you decide to implement something so that you can achieve better health or to subtract something from the equation so that you can have better health. Or maybe you will be developing more flexible ways to work. Capricorn, I really want you to think about your daily routine. What is it that you can freshen up? What is it that you can bring a spark to? That's what you are going to be called to do. But I also want you, Capricorn, to watch out for nervous system overload. And I want you to prioritize grounding because this transit really is going to be about upgrading your systems, not only the systems that you use day to day to get things done, to accomplish things at work, but also the systems within your body. Okay. So it's about upgrading your systems to support a more liberated and aligned lifestyle. Aquarius rising people. This one is super exciting for you guys because Uranus is going to be moving through your fifth house of creativity, of romance, and joy. So you can expect creative breakthroughs, surprising romantic encounters, or even changes around children and parenting if you are a parent. Your inner artist wants to come out during this time. Okay. It's going to be fighting to come out for creative expression, and it may do so in ways that shock even you. So if you've been holding back your joy, if you've been holding back your self expression, that ends today. This is all about rediscovering what lights you up and claiming your right to play and create freely. And also, all of this, Aquarius rising, could apply to children if you have children. So, for example, it could be that your children are now finding a way to express their joy. They are finding a way to really express themselves through their hobbies or through creative activities. or maybe they want to study astronomy or astrology or something far out there just for fun. So do not be surprised if you actually see these things happening for your children. And finally, we have Pisces rising. So, Pisces rising for you, this is going to be about home and family. There's no place like home because Uranus will enter your fourth house of home, family, and emotional foundations. So you might move, okay? A move is possible. You might renovate the current place where you're living, or your living situation could change in unexpected ways. Now, family dynamics could also shift during this time. Um, and with the shift, it could bring some chaos, okay? Some things might be coming to the surface. Issues may be coming to the surface for healing. And old emotional patterns being shaken loose so that you can feel safer being your full self. So, Pisces rising in particular, I want you guys to remember while Uranus is going through that fourth house of emotional foundations, it might feel a little chaotic for you. So, you are one of the rising signs that's really going to need some type of daily routine, whether that's meditation, whether it's grounding, whether it's just being on your own for a few minutes each day. You are really going to have a need for a safe and secure base amidst all of the change that you may be facing at home or with your emotions. So, this is a deep inner revolution for you guys, and this will free you from the past so you can create a more authentic sense of home within. So, Uranus and Gemini will be here to disrupt, to awaken, but ultimately to liberate you. Keep that in mind. And if you want to know exactly how this is going to play out in your natal chart, please visit my website. I actually have a special reading a session that I just implemented called Uranus and Gemini. How will it rock your world? Schedule a session. I'd love to meet you. Now, also, we'll be talking about the upcoming full moon in Capricorn happening on July 10th, so in a couple days. And this is going to be a very powerful full moon, very serious, sobering, and deeply clarifying. It's here to help us check in with our goals, our responsibilities, our duties, and the emotional weight that we've been carrying around. So, Capricorn is the sign of the mountain goat, and that mountain goat climbs to where it wants to be, to the pinnacle of the mountain with a definite sense of purpose. And when the moon lands here in Capricorn, it really invites us to reflect on what we've been building, both practically and emotionally. So, full moons are points of culmination, achievement, or endings. And under this full moon, you might find yourself asking, am I on the right path? Am I taking on too much? And what needs to change so that I can move forward with a deep sense of integrity? The moon will be opposing the sun in Cancer, and Cancer is the sign of home, family, safety, and emotional nourishment. So we're going to be balancing the structure of Capricorn with the softness and vulnerability of Cancer. Okay. And the external hustle will need to find some resolution with our internal needs. So let's talk about what you can actually do during this full moon to align with the energy. So reflect on your long term goals. This is a great time to evaluate your progress, especially with work, parenting, or personal growth. What is it that's working and what's not working? Number two, write down your next steps. So, Capricorn is all about taking grounded and practical action. So, create a clear plan for something that matters to you. Number three, set boundaries. If you've been carrying around too much emotionally or energetically, this is the moon where you can draw the line. Boundaries are all about self respect and action. You can also revise your outdated definitions of success. So, are you chasing goals that no longer resonate with you or they no longer reflect on who you're becoming? If so, it's time to let those go and choose emotional maturity during this full moon. Capricorn energy favors calm, clarity, and responsibility. So, it's time to respond instead of reacting. This is what I don't want you to do during the full moon. Don't suppress your emotions, okay? Capricorn may be stoic, but that doesn't mean that you have to bottle things up, okay? Give your feelings a voice. Don't just let them drive the bus. Also, avoid overworking. The pressure to get it all done can spike under this full moon, especially if you are a parent juggling multiple roles. So don't confuse productivity with your worth. And also avoid harsh self criticism. This is a time for accountability, yes, but not for punishment. Be honest with yourself, but be kind. So, as this Capricorn full moon rises on July 10th, I want you to remember that you are allowed to change direction. That's okay. You are also allowed to rest. And you are allowed to redefine what success means for you and your family. So, this is a moon for grown up magic in a way, for building what truly matters and letting go of what does not. Make sure that you use the energy intentionally. So, those are highlights for this week. Also, keep in mind what's coming with your rising sign with Uranus and make a plan for how you want to align with that energy. And as I remind you each week, the stars may guide us, but we ultimately hold the power to shape our destiny. So keep shining your light bright this week, and I will see you back here again next week.